Chapter 9, Sarneth's Challenge. As the city of bells fell into a chorus of celebration, its harmonious bells singing tales of triumph and new beginnings, Gladion stood at the heart of it all, surrounded by his companions. The once fierce sorcerer Sarneth had been vanquished, not by sword or sorcery alone, but by the transformative magic of the hairpin and the indomitable spirit of those who dared to dream of a different world. The victory was not just theirs, but belonged to everyone whose lives had been touched by the magic of change, acceptance, and understanding. However, the journey was far from over. As they prepared to leave the city, stories and rumors reached Gladion and his companions about lands where the very notion of change was met with fear and aggression. There were realms veiled in shadows, governed by rulers who saw any deviation from their decrees as a threat to their dominion. Yet, the call to spread the hairpin's magic was too powerful to ignore, and they knew that their quest would lead them into the heart of resistance. Among the tales that floated through the air, there were whispers of other artifacts imbued with ancient magic. Some were said to mend the deepest of wounds, while others could tear apart the very fabric of reality. The allure of these artifacts was undeniable, presenting both a promise and a peril. Gladion understood that in the wrong hands, such power could devastate the worlds they sought to heal. Resolved to prevent such a calamity, Gladion and his friends set their sights on these mystical objects, not to wield them, but to safeguard them from those who would misuse their power. Their journey took on a new purpose, intertwining their initial quest with the need to protect the realms from unseen dangers. As they ventured into the unknown, each step forward was met with challenges both physical and philosophical. The realms that resisted change did so with a fervor that tested their resolve, their strategies, and their understanding of the very magic they wielded. But with every challenge overcome, Gladion found that the hairpin's magic grew stronger, as did their bonds of friendship and their resolve to see a world where anyone could embrace their true selves. Yet, the road ahead was fraught with uncertainty. For every realm that welcomed them, another stood guarded, wary of the change they represented. Gladion knew that the true test of their courage and conviction was still to come, in lands where shadows ran deep and ancient powers stirred in the dark, waiting. As the city of bells faded into the horizon, Gladion and his companions rode into the twilight, their spirits buoyed by the challenge ahead. The realm they approached was known as the Vale of Shadows, a land shrouded in secrecy and ruled by a tyrant king who despised any form of change that threatened his dominion. The whispers of an ancient artifact hidden within the veil, one of immense power and mystery, had reached Gladion's ears through the network of allies they had formed. This artifact, it was said, held the power to bend reality to its wielder's will, making it both a valuable ally and a terrifying weapon. The journey through the veil was unlike any other, with the landscape changing surreptitiously as if to confuse and ensnare unwelcome visitors. Mist hung low, obscuring the path, while shadows moved with a life of their own. Gladion and his companions were undeterred, their purpose clear and their resolve hardened by the trials they had already faced. They understood the risks, knowing that the magic of the hairpin, though powerful and liberating, also had the potential to attract forces with darker intentions. Upon reaching the heart of the Vale, they found themselves standing before the gates of a grand yet foreboding castle. The air was thick with tension, charged with magic so potent it was almost visible to the naked eye. Rumors had not exaggerated the atmosphere of the Vale. It was a land that seemed to exist out of time, where ancient magic permeated the very air. The confrontation with the king was inevitable. His guards, armored in shadows and wielding weapons cursed with dark magic, stood ready to defend their ruler's will. Gladion and his companions prepared themselves, knowing that the upcoming battle would test them like never before. The king regarded the hairpin and its transformative power as an affront to his rule, a challenge to the status quo he had maintained for centuries. The initial clash was fierce, magic clashing with magic as each side unleashed powerful spells. Gladion, now more adept with the hairpin's enhanced abilities, wove spells of protection and empowerment, aiding his friends in their battle. Through clever strategy and unwavering teamwork, they managed to outmaneuver the king's forces, breaking through their defenses and confronting the ruler in his throne room. The battle with the king proved to be a profound moment for Gladion and his companions. It was not just a test of their magical prowess, but a statement of their belief in freedom and transformation. As the king fell, defeated but unharmed, Gladion extended a hand, offering a chance for redemption and enlightenment through the power of the hairpin. In the aftermath, the Veil of Shadows, now free from the tyrant's grip, began to witness changes. Those who had lived in fear embraced the magic of the hairpin, experiencing transformations that brought joy and liberation. Gladion and his companions, having located and safeguarded the artifact rumored to be hidden within the realm, prepared to continue their quest, their legend growing with each realm liberated. As they rode from the Veil, the realization that their journey was far from over weighed heavily on their hearts. There were still realms to free, artifacts to secure, and minds to open. Yet, the road ahead seemed a little less daunting, for they had faced the shadows and emerged victorious. Their resolve strengthened, and their purpose clearer than ever. The aftermath of the battle hung in the air like a dense fog, heavy with the scent of magic spent and victory hard won. Gladion, now known among his companions and the liberated peoples of realms far and wide as the bearer of transformation, felt a profound sense of duty swell within his chest. It was a sensation peculiar and wondrous, akin to the miraculous change the magical hairpin had wrought upon him. Yet, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with strokes of crimson and gold, a solemn realization dawned upon him and his friends. Their journey was far from over. As they convened around the glowing embers of their campfire, the flickering light casting long shadows across their determined faces, a plan began to take shape. They knew that Sarneth was but the first of many who would seek to claim the power of the magical hairpin for nefarious ends. The road ahead promised not only the allure of adventure, but peril in equal measure. They would need to be vigilant, clever, and above all, united in their cause. "Tomorrow, we set forth to the Veiled Marshes," Gladion announced, his voice carrying the weight of their collective resolve. "Rumors speak of an artifact there, one that can cloak the wearer in shadows, making them invisible to all but the most discerning eye. In the wrong hands, it could sow untold chaos." The group nodded in agreement, each member mentally preparing for the challenges that lay ahead. They had become more than friends. They were a fellowship bound by a shared destiny. As the night deepened, they discussed strategies and recounted tales of the realms they had yet to visit, drawing strength from each other's optimistic projections and the shared memories of their triumphs. Morning came with a promise of rain, and the travelers set out at dawn, their spirits undeterred by the gloomy weather. The Veiled Marshes were territories unmarked by most maps, hidden away by enchantments that clouded the minds of the uninvited. Only those with a true purpose and a pure heart could navigate the mists and find the path that led through the boggy expanse. The journey was fraught with challenges, from treacherous terrain to creatures that lurked just beyond sight, their whispers taunting the travelers from the shadows. Yet, the group pressed on, guided by Gladion's unwavering determination and the magical hairpin's subtle pull towards the artifact it sensed nearby. With each step, they ventured deeper into the unknown, ready to confront whatever trials awaited them in their quest to uphold the balance between realms and keep the forces of darkness at bay. The Veiled Marshes stretched out before Gladion and his companions, a canvas of fog and mystery, painting an eerie yet enticing picture. Morella, with her acute senses, led them through the thick mist that seemed to whisper ancient secrets. Taran, the ever-diligent archer, kept his eyes peeled for signs of ambush, while Adric, wielding his tome of arcane knowledge, murmured incantations to ward off malevolent forces. Their journey through the marshes was fraught with challenges. The ground beneath them was treacherous, swallowing up unsuspecting victims with a hunger that belied the serene beauty of the landscape. Gladion, mindful of the dangers, invoked the magic of the hairpin to enhance their pathfinding, creating an ethereal trail only they could see. This luminescent path weaved through the marshes like a beacon of hope, guiding them safely around natural traps and pitfalls. Suddenly, a shriek pierced the silence, emanating from the depths of the fog. A guardian of the marshes, an ancient drake emerged from the veil, its scales shimmering with the essence of the marsh itself. The creature eyed them warily, sensing the power that Gladion and his allies bore. Adric stepped forward, speaking in the old tongue, attempting to parley with the beast. After tense moments, the drake seemed to understand their quest and, with a graceful nod, offered passage through its domain, but not without a test. They were led to an ancient grove hidden within the marsh, where the artifact was said to reside. Here, the real trial began. The grove was protected by a series of puzzles, each designed to test their wisdom, courage, and strength. They worked together, unraveling riddles that spoke of the history of the realms and demonstrating feats of bravery against conjured specters of the marsh's past defenders. With every challenge conquered, the bond between them strengthened, their resolve hardening like forged steel. As the final puzzle fell to their combined might, the artifact revealed itself, bathed in an ethereal glow. It was a cloak, woven from the very essence of invisibility, pulsating with an ancient power that seemed to hum in response to the hairpin's magic. Gladion stepped forward, his heart brimming with a mix of awe and determination. Gently, he lifted the cloak, feeling its weightlessness. In that moment, he knew their quest was far from over, but the acquisition of this artifact was a monumental victory. With the cloak secured, the team prepared to leave the grove, their spirits lifted by their success. However, they remained vigilant, aware that the marshes could still hold untold dangers. As they retraced their steps back through the fog, guided by the hairpin's light, they felt a renewed sense of purpose. The challenges they had faced in the veiled marshes had prepared them for what was to come, fortifying their courage for the battles ahead. Just as the edge of the marshes came into view, a sudden shift in the air caught their attention. A cold breeze swept through, carrying with it a sense of foreboding. They glanced at each other, realizing that their trial was not yet complete. Somewhere, within the shadows, something watched, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. As the group readied their weapons, a shadow detached itself from the trees, quickly followed by several more. At the forefront of these shadows stood Sarneth, his presence as menacing as the dark clouds crowning the sky above. His eyes, illuminated by an inner fire, fixed upon Gladion with a mix of hatred and fascination. "You've been a persistent thorn in my side, Gladion," Sarneth sneered, his voice carrying through the marshes like a cold wind. "But today, that ends. No more will you spread your unnatural magic across the realms." Gladion stepped forward, the magical hairpin's energy coursing through him, emanating a radiant light that seemed to push back the darkness. "I spread hope, Sarneth, something you wouldn't understand." Gladion's voice was calm, yet carried an unwavering strength. With a cruel laugh, Sarneth unleashed the first wave of his attack, dark tendrils of magic shooting towards the group. Reacting quickly, they donned the cloak of invisibility, blending into the surroundings as the spells passed harmlessly through their now intangible forms. Emerging from the cloak's protection, Gladion pointed the hairpin towards the sky, uttering words of an ancient, powerful spell. The hairpin glowed intensely, its light piercing the darkness, and from it, a wave of transformative magic swept through the battleground. Sarneth's minions, caught in the wave, found themselves transformed, their aggressive demeanors replaced by peaceful dispositions, their weapons dropping to the ground. Enraged, Sarneth attempted a more direct approach, summoning a fearsome beast of shadow and malice. Gladion and his friends rallied, their determination unshaken. They fought valiantly, their skills and enhanced powers weaving together in a symphony of light and magic against the darkness that threatened to engulf them. The battle raged on, both sides pushing their limits. Gladion, seizing a moment of vulnerability, directed the hairpin's power at Sarneth. A ray of pure, transformative magic struck him, encasing him in a cocoon of light. When it faded, Sarneth stood transformed, his features softened, his eyes no longer burning with hatred but reflecting confusion and awe. The confrontation ended as quickly as it began, leaving the marshes eerily silent. Sarneth, now free from his own darkness, gazed at Gladion with newfound respect. I understand now," he murmured, a hint of gratitude in his voice. Gladion offered his hand, helping Sarneth to his feet. "It's never too late to change," Gladion said, a smile lighting up his face. As they looked around, they saw Sarneth's followers, now peaceful, joining hands with Gladion's team, a symbol of newfound unity and hope. Their victory was more than just a win over an enemy. It was the spread of a transformative magic that reached even the most hardened hearts. Gladion's journey had elevated him to something more than a hero. He became a beacon of change, an emblem of a world where understanding and transformation could bridge the deepest divides. As the group prepared to continue their journey, the marshes felt lighter, as if the very land itself breathed a sigh of relief. With Sarneth and his followers now allies, Gladion's quest seemed even more possible, a step closer to a world united by the magic of transformation and understanding.